Hi, this is Mrs. Yu, and today we're working on our practice test. Our test is tomorrow. I would advise you watching other videos to help you, and also going over to the PowerPoint folder that has some extra PowerPoints to practice as well on equations and inequalities, is what you're being tested on. We're going to start with number 4. On number 4, we have negative 8 plus 5/6 of an x is equal to negative 28. Here we're using an equal sign. I'm going to draw a line there. To isolate x, I have to undo some of the numbers that are next to it. So I'm going to first undo the negative 8. A negative 8 is the same as a minus 8. So when I move that over, it's plus 8. So a negative 28 plus 8 is like losing 28, but then gaining 8. So the result of that would be a negative 20, which is that you've still lost 20. And that's equal to 5/6 of an x. Then with the fraction, because I'm multiplying it with x, I'm going to move that over and do division. I'm going to put that behind the negative 20, 5/6 behind it. And so when I go to divide my fractions, I want to put negative 20 over 1. So now I have negative 20 over 1 divided by 5/6. And when I divide a fraction, I'm actually going to be multiplying by the reciprocal. So that means I'm going to do negative 20 over 1 times the reciprocal is 5/6, which is 6 over 5. And then from there, I can do a little bit of cross canceling. Cancel the negative 20 and the 5. The negative 20 is negative 4, and the 5 is 1. So then I'm going to be multiplying negative 4 times 6 in the numerator and 1 times 1 in the denominator, which then gives me that x is equal to negative 24. Okay, so for number 4, I want the answer F. Let me give you the answers also as well to number 1 is B, F, A, and then 4. I'm going to skip down to number 6. Pause the video as you need to so that you can rewatch parts that you need as well, because I will go a little quickly so I can get through quite a few of the questions since we're not going over it in class tomorrow right before the test. For number 6, this is a multi-step equation. So the first step that I want to do is look at those parentheses and use the distributive property. So I'm going to distribute 2 to the a and the negative 5. So I'm going to write that underneath both of them, but cross out that 1. And the parentheses represents multiplying. So a times 2 is 2a. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Then I still have negative 5 equals to 3. I'm going to draw a line there. And then the second step here, I want to combine my like terms, CLT. I'm going to combine these two like terms together, and this is a negative 10 and a negative 5. So if I've lost 10 and lost 5, then I'm going to lose 15. So I still have a 2a and an equal sign and a 3. From here, I want to do friends and family. That's the strategy that we've called it, where I'm going to undo the minus 15 and move it to the other side and do it adding 15, which is 18. And then 2a is going to equal to 18. So then I'm going to undo the 2 by dividing with the 18. So a is equal to 9. So 9. And we can always check our answer by putting that a right into that equation, and using my calculator I can use PEMDAS and check that yes, 9 minus 5 is 4. So 2 times 4 minus 5 is 8 minus 5, and that's 3, so it is equal to 3 on the other side of the equal sign. So it is true that a is 9. Okay, let's look at number 7. I'm going to do that on over here. F. Okay, 6 was F, 5 is actually a G, and number 7. Number 7 is H, and then number 8 is B. So let's go over number 7 first. I'm going to highlight some keywords here. Benito scored 3 points less than twice the points that Carnell scored. So Benito scored, so her score is equal to 3 points less than twice. So first we want to represent twice the number of Carnell's points. oopsies, Benito equals. So 2 times Carnell's points twice, and then less than that, so less than, so it would be minus 3, so 3 less than. And remember, less than goes in the back, so because it's a backwards word, we put it in the back. So this equation represents that sentence I highlighted. Now, this sentence here, Carnell scored 8 points, well, that would represent the C, so that would be 8. So Benito is equal to 2 times 8 points minus 3. So Benito is equal to 16 minus 3, which means that he got 13 points. H. For number 8, we have Edwin's mom. Her age is 3 years more than twice Edwin's age. So the mom's age is equal to 3 more years than twice Edwin's. So I'm going to do 2 times Edwin's, E, plus the 3, the more than 3. Again, you'll see me do the more than, just like the less than, behind 2 times E. Now, I do know that the mother is 57, so the M is 57. So I'm going to write 57 here is equal to 2E plus 3. Then I'm going to solve for E. So I'm going to subtract the 3 from 57, which is 54. That's equal to 2E. Then take the 2 and divide with 54. So Edwin is 27. So that's why I got B. 9 is similar to 7 and 8, so I'm going to give you the answer there, B. Number 10, I'm going to do that one. The answer is A. Now, how did I do that? Well, the package is 0.32 cents, it's 32 cents for the first ounce, and an additional 21 cents each. So each I'm going to do some multiplying. I'm going to multiply 0.21 times X amount of packages. If I add those two together, that's how much she's going to be paying. So she pays exactly $1.16. So I make it equal to 1/16. Then I'm going to solve from there. I'm going to subtract the 0.32, okay, giving me 0.84. That's equal to 0.21x. Then I'm going to take that 0.21 and divide it with 0.84, so x is going to be equal to 4, and that's how I got A. The answer to 11 is D, and to 12 is H. 11 is 4x plus 11 equals to 15. Now, if I were to solve this, I would first subtract the 11 with the 15, giving me 4x is equal to 4. Now, 4x is equal to 4 is the same equation as 4x plus 11 equals 15. So that's why in number 11, the answer is D, because that equation is the same as what we started with. It's just sort of like the next step that we do, and that's what it's looking for. Okay, and 12 is similar. They're looking for what is the step that I could do in number 12. Well, this one's a little more tricky. 3 multiplies with x minus 9 is equal to 3. So this parentheses here represents multiplication. Now, why does a parentheses represent multiplication? Well, if I write 5.4, that's multiplication. Or if I write 5, the little x4, or if I write 5 parentheses 4, all of those represent multiplication. So a parentheses represents multiply. So 3 is being multiplied by x minus 9, which means that if I were to take this 3 and move it over here, I would divide it with the 3 on the right side of the equal sign. So if I divide 3 with 3, I get 1. And so 1 is equal to x minus 9, since I still have that on the left side. And that's how I get H, and that's how I got H. Okay, most of us might have picked the answer F. Okay, but the reason it's not F, because if I were to actually distribute, because most of you distributed 3 with x and 3 with 9, well, 3 times x is 3x, but 3 times 9 is 27. So then there's that minus sign in the middle. So this minus 9 is incorrect, because it really should be minus 27. And then that would be equal to 3. So this would have been the equivalent equation, but it's not one of the choices. And so it's not F, not G, not I, but it's actually H. And then for 13 through 17, okay, the answer to 13, when you solve your inequality, not only are you graphing it, but you have to actually give the inequality. So for 13, x is less than or equal to 4. That's your inequality. And then your graph would look like that. Here's 14. M is greater than 16. So there's my graph there. For 15, P is greater than or equal to -8. Okay, so close dot going to the right. Okay, and then I'm going to do number 16 and 17. So for 16, -2w plus 5 is less than -5. This is a two-step inequality. So first I'm going to take that plus 5 and subtract it from the already -5. When I subtract 5 from -5, I get -10. That's greater than -2w. Then I'm going to take the -2, and because it was multiplying, when I move it over, I'm going to divide. Now, because I'm dividing by a negative number, I have to reverse the symbol, reverse the sign. What does that mean? Well, it means that once I go and divide -10 with -2 and get 5, and then w stays on the left side, then this symbol, less than, is actually going to change to greater than. So now it's changed to greater than. That's me reversing the symbol. So my answer is w greater than 5, and I'm going to do an open dot at 5 and go to the right since it's greater than. And then 17, h divided by -6 is greater than 3. I'm going to move the -6 over, and I'm going to multiply. Okay, now I am multiplying by a negative number, and because I multiply by a negative number, it's the same rule for dividing by a negative number, where I have to reverse the symbol. So now h is going to be less than, so now it's going to be less than, and then -6 times 3 is -18. So again, the symbol flips, so h is less than -18, and so I'm going to do an open dot and shade it to the left. And I did go a little quickly. So let's review. There's a couple of rules you want to remember. The first rule is, so in an inequality, when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, so just like we did in 16 and 17, you have to reverse the inequality symbol. You do want to be very careful, though, that it's not because the answer happens to be negative or another number is negative, but it's the number you divide by or the number you multiply by. Okay, that's when you have to reverse the symbol. Some things to do is reviewing your foldable. Some of the strategies we looked at when we're graphing, we did the old man with the greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then you have to use a closed circle when graphing, so that's his big nose. The young man doesn't have wrinkles under his eyes and is loud and big, so he's got that open mouth. A couple of strategies. Friends and family is a strategy when solving equations. Inverse operation we also use when we solve inequalities and equations. And you have to know how to set up inequality, interpret them. You know, if 5 is less than 2.5 and we're describing cars, well, depending on the situation or the word problem, maybe 2.5 cars is not allowed. Maybe you need to have 3 cars to buy 3 cars, or maybe you don't have enough money to buy 3 cars, you have to buy 2 cars because 2.5 doesn't make sense. So you have to interpret your inequality, and you have to know how to write your expressions with words like less than, more than, just like numbers 9 and 8 and 7 in the worksheet, because that's not the same as is less than, because is less than is that inequality sign, and is more than is the other inequality sign that looks like that. Okay, so that's different. Review your foldable, rewatch some of the videos, go back to the PowerPoints that are in the folders and in the Moto to help you study today. So good luck. We're going to take the test right when we come into class tomorrow. We're not going to go over much questions, so please watch this video again if you have to.